Good morning, Rabotai. We are in the middle of the 9 days, and I wanted to discuss today the minhag that the Shulchan Aruch brings of not having meat during the 9 days. As we know, the Gemara says in the Mishnah, it says Mishenichnas av mima'atin besimcha. Therefore, the Shulchan Aruch in Siman Tav Kuf Nun Aleph writes 3 opinions. Some say not to have meat already from Yud Zayin B'Tammuz for 3 weeks. Others for only the week of Tisha B'Av, which is not applicable this year. And the others say from the 9 days, and that is the minhag of almost everyone in Klal Yisrael besides the Teimanim, that we refrain from meat during these 9 days. We spoke about in the past about the Rosh Chodesh. And I wanted to mention today a few details regarding what is considered meat in this regard. The great Hacham Rabbi Yehuda Ayash from Algeria in the Sefer Matei Yehuda brings a question: what would be in regards to meat, fat of meat? That means, let's say you have a dish that was cooked with meat, but you took the meat out, but the dish has in it fat of meat. This would be called the tavshil shel basar in halacha. There's a big question regarding the laws of basar b'chalev. If you eat a tavshil shel basar, how long do you have to wait afterwards? We follow the opinion nowadays that lechumra, that we have to wait 6 hours. But let's say you want to have that during the 9 days. Is that considered meat? So Rabbi Yehuda Ayash speaks about this in Siman Tav Kuf Nun Aleph Ot Yud, and he writes that it's forbidden. Although there would have been a tzad to think that doesn't increase so much simcha, nevertheless he says we stay away from anything that has a tavshil shel basar. There would be the same thing in regards if you had meat that was mixed into your tavshil, even if it's not so much meat. At the end of the day, that's considered something that, as long as there's not 60 against the meat, it would be forbidden. Whereas if you're going to use a meat pot, you just cooked meat in it on Shabbat, and you want to use it now for milk, because that's not, even though you shouldn't eat that together with milk, but that's not considered something that has like a tangible taste of meat, since it's a watered down taste. According to this, what would be the halacha if somebody would have a piece of, let's say he would have rice that was in a bag that was put in the dafina, and the rice absorbed a lot of the taste. But here, since there was a bag to stop it, it wasn't a perforated bag; it was a sealed bag. So, or by Ashkenazim, sometimes they put a piece of kugel that's inside a pot of cholent. That would be allowed, because even though there are opinions like the Chavodat and Siman Tzadihei that says that during the time of Bishul you don't say notentan bar notentan, the Shulchan Aruch seems to be lenient, like the Pitchei Tshuva there, Siman Tzadihei Sif Katan Aleph says, and therefore it would be considered that it's not considered a fleshik. We could regard this as not being fleshik. So a pot, so something that has real meat inside, if there's no 60 in it, it's forbidden. But something that's like a secondary taste of notentam bar notentam, that would be permitted. So to Rabbi Baruch Toledano brings, there are those who say that for Motzei Shabbat you're allowed to have meat because it's a mitzvah and it's a leftovers. And he says, Lo raiti noagim ken. In Siman Tav Tzadichet Sivkan Lameted, he says, I didn't see those who are noeg that way. There are those who are more lenient with chicken. And there is a source to be more lenient to chicken, believe it or not, because the Rav Ovadia Yosef and Chazon Ovadia, page Kufayin Daled, brings a sefer called Shulchan Melachim that says that we're not machmir on chicken. And he writes that even though, and this was actually the custom in Egypt, the Nahar Mitzrayim writes that they were lenient on chicken, but nevertheless, we're machmir. But Rav Ovadia says, but let's say you have chicken, how do you call it, the powder, that you want to use it for soup, broth, chicken broth. Yeah, so then he's lenient. Rav Ovadia Yosef is lenient on chicken broth. We did not have this custom, as I mentioned. Rabbi Baruch Toledano. What? Like gelatine, no? No, it's not good. He said, yeah, there is chicken in there. He agrees, but he says it's too far removed. We're not, since it's chicken, not meat. Meat broth he wouldn't allow. Chicken broth only allows. Yeah, but meat gelatin is okay, but that maybe that's going into maybe okay. Yeah, you're right. Maybe that would be kosher meat gelatin, but you don't have kosher meat gelatin nowadays. There's only fish gelatin nowadays. They don't make kosher